people over the years have started to realize that you can practice as much as you want, but you have to focus yourself mentally to win. And that is the hardest thing in this game. There's no tried and true way of doing it because everyone's different.
I'm hoping for the best, but with all the guys that are out there, it's going to be real tough.
People that are just starting out are getting very good very quick, and it's just raising the bar to how good you have to be to kind of continue moving towards these like tournaments that are popping up now, and you know, the NATF coming up.
It's the original tournament. It just has a lot of meaning and feeling in it, you know? There's a lot of heart there.
This is a game and a sport that's not about other people imposing each other on one another. It's not like football or hockey where someone's gonna body check you out of the way and prevent you from scoring. It's all on you.
The skill level from when I played in my first NATF 2 years ago has just done that.
Every game, I'm like, I hope I don't fuck up. Like, that's actually my motto. Like, I don't want to fuck up.
How does the NATF make sure that we're being the most effective, that we're hearing what's happening in the community, but that we're also creating something that people will want to watch and compete in, and we can make it as competitive as possible?
You've been throwing for years, and you want to prove to yourself and everybody that you're the best. It's a hard place to be.
Throwing, the one that comes to mind for me is the Francisco, which is an axe designed by the Franks. It was kind of circular in shape of the head. It was designed to actually be thrown. Procopius, who was a Byzantine scholar in the 6th century, he talks about how the Franks would carry this in auxiliary to their sword and shield. When the two lines of infantry would get pretty close to each other, they would take these axes and kind of hurl them as hard as they could, designed as kind of like a shock weapon to break up the infantry lines. As you can probably imagine, a bunch of axes being thrown at you, if they hit the handle, still hurt and kind of fuck you up. Afterwards, the Anglo-Saxons would have picked up the idea. Axes were a pretty common tool, not actually always for a weapon, so people had axes, especially in the kind of heavily forested northern European areas. So after the Franks, like I said, Anglo-Saxons would have picked them up, and then some of the other Germanic groups that they would have interacted with were ancestor to, such as the Viking groups that are popularly known as Vikings would have probably carried axes and so on and so forth. I mean, like many things, the Vikings were not the super skilled master warriors everyone does paint the picture of. The majority of the Vikings were part-time farmers, things like that would have taken up arms to be opportunistic and to follow a local warlord over to go on these seasonal raids. The kind of use of their axe was more than likely because it was a weapon of convenience. Apparently, when the American colonists were colonizing America and they came across the native tomahawk, the frontiersmen would engage in some kind of competition, I'm assuming based upon what we see now with beer, to kind of, I guess, test their skills and impress their compatriots.
we're at the Philly practice space, and we're doing our monthly tournament. This is our 4th one, called Don't Throw 3 at the NATC. We only painted bulls and we only painted clutches. So you have to throw a bull, or if you throw a 3, it has to be touching paint. If it's outside the paint, it's a 0. 18 of the top throwers in Philly are coming to throw. Like names like Rupert, Bradley, Comp, Vin, Kadu, Tony Tiger Bomb. Probably forgetting a bunch of people, but it is what it is.
Really just looking for somewhere we could throw anytime we wanted without any hour, normal business hour restrictions. I went out, I found this crappy little studio space up in the ghetto of North Philly. I think it was $400 a month to start. Found 10 other guys, split it at $40, and we built this tiny little space with 2 lanes. We definitely weren't the first people to do this.
The axe. In days of yore, it was used by primal man for everything from hunting his meal for that day to lopping off the heads of tribal rivals competing for his women. But today, in the year 2009, it is used by this motley crew of gentlemen behind me for something completely different. Friendly competition.
This is Battle, the Backyard Axe Throwing League, where once a week a group of present-day warriors meet to get in touch with a simpler, more violent time.
Are these men insane? Well, I think maybe probably yes. But aren't we all insane in our own little way? Tossing that proverbial axe at the wooden target of our daily cares, concerns, and problems? I think it was Matt Wilson who said it the best when he said, "Remember primal man, who only had his hands, who forged in fire and steel the tools to kill his meal. We honor him this day and pray our axe to stay." Think about it. I'm Rob Fulton.
My name is Matt Wilson. I'm the founder of Battle, the Backyard Axe Throwing League, as well as the National Axe Throwing Federation. And Battle was one of the 6 founding organizations that started the NATF, but the NATF is the brainchild of our team at Battle. Battle has been going since 2006 was when we did our very first league in my backyard in downtown Toronto. And the National Axe Throwing Federation we started in the beginning of 2016.
Every competition is a one-on-one match, you against one other competitor. You face off in 3 rounds of 5 axes a round, with the bullseye representing 5 points, a middle ring of 3 points, and an outer ring of 1 point. The winner of 2 of those 3 rounds wins the match. If you go to a tiebreaker, all tiebreakers are settled with a big axe from 2 hands over your head from 22 feet, and the single axes are thrown from 15 feet. So that's how it works. So now you know what you're watching.
I learned how to throw an axe from a couple of friends at a cottage. A buddy of mine named Charles, another friend named Nish, were 2 buddies that I went to their cottage, and we were just kind of sitting around, and Nish pulled out an axe and actually started throwing at a tree, and that's where I got hooked on it. And we ended up just throwing axes for hours that whole weekend. We were just crushing beers, catching up, old friends, got a weekend away to catch up, so we were just hanging out, talking about life and throwing axes, and it was like super addictive, and just really satisfying. So I brought that back home to my Toronto apartment, which was the main floor of a house downtown. And so we had this backyard that was pretty much a dump. We were fortunate at that time to have what I affectionately refer to as like a slumlord of a landlord. So, they were nice people, but they did not give a shit about what we did in that place or with that backyard.
The kind of people that come out, you'd be surprised how much it varies. I myself am a bartender musician, and we got a lot of trade guys, and now we got one guy who's currently in med school. We got girls, we got hairdressers, we got bartenders, and we got business guys. We got a guy that shows up in a suit with a change of clothes every Monday night because he comes straight from his office to here.
And we didn't even have screws. We used duct tape and duct taped like 3 2x4s together flat, and then like tried duct taping a piece of plywood to that and leaning it against the wall.
And we leaned it up against the walls and continued to drink rye and threw axes at it like idiots. And then
we went and grabbed a can of spray paint finally, and like a drill and a couple screws, and we screwed that board in and just drew circles with a can of spray paint
the sun set, so Mark, who works in construction, was like, oh, I've got a flashlight in my truck, I'll go get it. And Mark comes back. We heard someone coming down the alley and we thought it was Mark, so Wilson's like, I'm gonna throw this axe at you if you don't shut up. And I was like, drop the weapon. And it was 2 police officers. We're like, oh, we explained ourselves and like chilled everything out and whatever.
I had worked previously for a few years at a place called North Beach Volleyball, which is in Scarborough. It's an indoor beach volleyball club. And so I managed leagues there. So I ran like team leagues and stuff, multiple, 8-10 week sessions. So I just pulled from that and was like, I'll do a league.
Nobody else was doing this. Nobody really believed you when you said you did it as a hobby. It wasn't even something that the general populace in your neighborhood really knew about. It was just a bunch of local pals hanging out.
But the vibe, the camaraderie, like, especially back then, it was such like a club. It was cool.
My favorite memory probably might be the times that it was like raining and we were playing in the mud, and there would be times where like I would have a towel like stuffed in my jacket so I could like wipe my axe off if it fell into the mud. And people wiping out and falling into said mud. You're sitting there in the rain throwing these axes, and then we're saying this oath and the lightning's going.
When we first started hanging these targets up on the walls, it was up against Duff's Wings kitchen. Their dishwasher was right there, right where we were hung the target. And for a couple weeks, before they even figured out what we were doing, all they heard was these thud, thud, thud. And every time they would hear that, the guy was turning on the dishwasher. He thought it was a dishwasher that was doing this. Right? Until we started going in afterwards, the group of us going in and buying wings and beer, they figured out, huh, you guys are throwing axes in the back? And then they came out the back door and they're going, oh shit.
But we had 30 people throwing 2 nights a week at that point, and we had the police getting called a lot for noise at that point, and the police knew us very well and were really cool about it. But they were just like, look, there's one dude that hates your guts. He's 10 doors that way. They're like, that's his window. He's never gonna stop calling. Like, and they'd known us for a couple years at this point, 3 or 4 years. So they were like, look, maybe it's time. And I was like, yeah, you're right.
When I walked in for the interview at Urban Access Philadelphia, we had not yet built it. So I kind of walked into an empty warehouse with 1 or 2 lanes.
This doesn't seem legitimate. We're locked out and this building looks vacant. Like
we conducted our interviews on upturned Home Depot buckets. It was pretty raw, but you could just tell from the moment I entered that place that it was something unique and something cool. When you hear Urban Axe throwing, you're like, this can't be fucking real. When you went in there and you talked to Stu and Lily, who were so jazzed about getting this place started. And
I actually received a text message from a friend of mine who's a chef in the city, and he sent me a text one day when I was leaving my old job and said, Lily, I think I know what your next gig should be. And I wrote him back, what? And he wrote back, axe throwing. And I wrote back, completely seriously, I think your phone auto-corrected. And he called me, laughing hysterically. He told me that he had a regular in his restaurants, an Australian guy named Stu Jones, who was looking to bring and create this sort of concept here in the States with some friends of his, and that he needed someone like me to do it, someone with my background and experience. So I met Stu for a drink. We chatted for quite a while. He showed me Battle's website. He showed me stuff about Battle, and he left. And I remember saying to a friend of mine who met me later that night that I was completely sold and thought this was probably the best thing that I could do.
It was fucking, it was raw. So you were always kind of worried, like, is this actually going to be a thing? Like, I guess I'm hired for this job. Like, is it going to exist in 2 weeks? So yeah, it was an experience, man. It was pretty cool.
changed our life forever.
Urban Access Philly very specifically has a really great group of people that create a really great experience for all different types of throwers as they come in. So I think that we have been very lucky in the team that has been built around us.
After Stu and Sean came up, we approached Battle about partnering in the US, and they had their own thing going on, and so they weren't interested. And then we're like, well, what do we know about running an axe throwing business? So it probably was I don't know how long, but several months later, I think Stu had like a bad day at work, and he's like, I'm doing this. Are you guys in or out? I was like, well, I'm in.
The people that are here at Urban Access Philly, creating the memories, the moments for the people that come in here.
Stu emphasized the idea of this community of people, this sort of culture, and nurturing that, and in a way that was authentic and organic and not forced. That was sort of something that I always think about with him in particular, and now it's, you know, I mean, he will be incredibly missed. And I think it's because of him in many ways that we are this community. That is what really matters, is bringing these people together and having sort of really true, authentic, communal experience.
One night a week was a lot of noise already. That's what drove the search for the Sterling space, and ended up with me like kind of living there in a corner on a mattress for a long time and bathing in sinks and public washrooms and that sort of thing to get that off the ground. But yeah, Sterling just took the leagues from the backyard, put them into Sterling, and then we continued to grow the leagues, and we got to league Sunday night, Monday night, Tuesday night, Wednesday night, events Thursday night, events Friday night, and events, 3 events on a Saturday, and then another event on Sunday afternoon. And that schedule like got locked down pretty quick, and we were booked about 16 weeks out at one point. And then by the time summer of 2014 came around is when I got approached by my now partner Elon Jacobson, who was like, hey, this is awesome. We should grow this all over North America. And that's when I was like, oh, our founding organizations of the NATF were Urban Axes in Philly, and Battle, obviously, and Riot Axe in Guelph, and Rage in Montreal, and Timber Lounge, who was doing more traditional double bit, but out in Halifax. This makes so much sense to do, because we were already talking with those people, you know, the Urban Axes crew, Krista and Matt and Stu, and Sean all came out and talked to us, and we were like, we need to have all this competition needs to be with all them too, you know, and it just made sense. So the NATF came out of that.
I knew that it was going to be bigger than what it was, right? Like, it couldn't survive in that backyard, and it was going to get bigger and bigger. Like, the waiting list was so insane at a certain point. So I knew that was going to be a thing. I didn't know really on like the global scale, like definitely within Canada, because Canadians love doing crazy shit. So of course they're going to do that. But it was exciting, because you think about how many people you get to throw against, and just in my mind is like how many I get to kick all these people's asses from everywhere over the world. Cool. Like, I'm down.
Wilson quickly came to the realization that this could actually be like a really positive thing, and so, you know, his, you know, formation and support of you know, the NATF and this stuff, you know, allowing other axe throwing lanes to use the sort of standard rules, right? I think really changed it.
It's almost overwhelming now to look at it and see how the scale of it, you know what I mean? And also very proud of fucking my brother Matt Wilson, fucking for what he's done. It's super impressive. Like, definition of a entrepreneur. He took something from that didn't, well, it existed, but you know what I mean. He took something from nothing and turned it into this, and it's super cool. And somehow managed to maintain legitimacy throughout the whole thing. You know, like, legitimacy is the wrong word, but the air of cool.
That was the start of it, you know, and now we got, I think, 37 organizations with 60 some odd locations in 7 countries, all representing the NATF.
Well, it's like swept the nation. I mean, not only Urban Axes, but I mean, just even in this area alone, in this, you know, in the Philadelphia area, it's unbelievable how many axe throwing places are now here.
Go to people and say, I'm a competitive axe thrower. They would go, what the heck is that? You know, and now they're like, oh, I saw that there's that place here, or there's this place there, or I saw it on Facebook, or Aquaman throws axes with Jimmy Fallon.
I think everybody, especially right at this moment, is thinking, when is it going to be on TV? When is it going to be on TV regularly? I don't expect that to be a thing that's really going to happen.
So here we go.
2 tournament championships under your belt this year.
Axe throwing is very much bullseye, 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 clutch, go to big axe. At this point, I don't think it can be a thing.
And the quirky might come. That's me! That's me! In the 22nd round of Sun and Death.
And there we go.
So we're getting a lot more exposure as a sport, which is really awesome. You know, it was just on ESPN last weekend.
I just went to Chicago for a tournament that was broadcast on ESPN. That's where I see it going.
I think it's cool to see the growth in such a short amount of time.
And it's just going to be more prevalent. Would it be like pool, like darts or something like that? That would be terrific.
The genuine friendship that people have formed. I mean, it's really, I don't know what it is about axes and friendships. Axe throwing makes people friends for some crazy reason. I don't know why, but it does.
I think it'll always be a part of my life as long as I can physically do it. I'll do it.
The NATC weekend, the All-Star weekend is so important. The person who wins that is the best at this sport, you know?
Who do you think has the best shot at winning the NATC this year?
Oh, I feel like as league master, I can't say that. I'm proud of all my axe throwing children, and I wish all of them the very best to take the crown of the NATC.
But based on recent performance.
I would say Michael Kump has one of the highest chances repping Urban Axes Philadelphia taking the NATC crown.
The day before round one, it was a Saturday afternoon, just getting in kind of the last few throws to make sure I'm ready, not to screw it up.
I mean, there are more people.
I know.
I mean, Uncle Willie, he could take it. I would love to see Babe take it. I would love to see Allison Boober take it. I think Alex Beebe.
Uncle Willie or Kump.
Uncle Willie and Mike Kump.
I'm gonna put my money on Uncle Willie.
I want to say it's gonna be Kump this year. I mean, I don't want to be biased, but I gotta go with my man Strawn. Not only because he's my partner, but because he's a fucking awesome thrower and he's a little bit underrated, I think, this year.
I'll always back up Strawn, but tomorrow, my money's on Uncle Willie.
It could be anybody's game. Yes, Strawn, possibly. Kump is unreal right now. Those are the two names I would say would be at the top.
Like a guy like Stefan, who's got like, you see it in his eyes. When he's fucking lit up, you see it in his eyes. He's just like, I'm gonna win this shit, like at Baltimore. You saw him at Baltimore the whole day, you're like, I know you're gonna win. He's got that fucking fire in his eye.
It's a crazy ride, and not a lot of people understand what that feels like. A lot of people talk about axe throwing, what that means to them, but not a lot of people can say they're a champion. There's only 4 people that have won all of this over 7 years.
Ladies and gentlemen, today's fight will left in your beverage service. Your wine and spirits as well as your food.
Some paper towel first? I reached right in my bag and this was sticking up. Yeah, just nicked my finger.
Did you nick yourself?
Yeah. Come on in closer, guys, so that you can. How far?
Hey everybody. So awesome, thanks for coming guys, this is incredible. 192 people this year, so 64 more than last year, and it just means we're going to need a bigger venue pretty soon, so that's awesome.
see it in Strawn's eyes last year. I could see it in Aaron's eyes. I saw it in Kump's eyes in October. You know when you're gonna win. And you can just see how relaxed they are as they're throwing. And I'm sure the same with me. There's no thought process. It's a visceral thing. And it's almost the same feeling that you get when you first start throwing.
Good afternoon and welcome to Battle Pickering, home of this year's National Axe Throwing Championship, hosted by the National Axe Throwing Federation. My name is Tom Black. Beside me is Ian Bobby Christensen. We got no place to go. Kuya is on your right, or pardon me, your left, and Kump is on the right. Oh, but he misses that right side again.
Nice.
But
sorry, I keep getting in your way there, Tommy. I can't help leaning forward
you're
and getting my view.
This perch that we're in up here is just perfect. I can see past you. I can see.
Yeah, I'm trying to stay real professional in my comment, but I can't help it. The excitement's too much.
Right?
You just want to look in. I want to climb over the wall.
And here we are. And he does it! Comes from behind after falling down 2-0 early in this one. Claws his way back to take it in 7 rounds with a big axe clutch as the USA chants roll through the crowd. Stefan and Kuya Rander finished tied for 5th place at this point. So they will walk away with some of that prize money that we were talking about earlier.
Yeah.
As we get ready here for the championship of A bracket. This is the A bracket championship. The winner of this will move on to the championship final. This is between Julio Romero and the defending champion, Strawn Riley. Ooh, and he's wide of that left side clutch. Just wide to the right of it.
And here's Strawn's opportunity. If he hits this clutch here, he is going to the finals.
He's going to the finals. Julio will stay in the tournament if it comes to that, but will be bumped to the beat. And he nailed it!
Your reigning champion,
poised to defend his title.
Wow.
Splitting that big axe clutch.
One axe at a time, as silly and generic as that sounds, is the reason why I guess repeat it all the time.
It can change in a fucking flip of a hat. Strawn's a fucking monster, and I'm ready for a flip.
LaChance has moved on, knocking Kump out of the B bracket.
I'm ready to fucking bring it back. I'm gonna come right back for Strawn, and we're gonna do this shit again.
Down to the final three, so the winner of this match will move on to face Strawn Riley for the championship final. Another one right down the pipe, no mistake, and that's 3 in a row. And both players are ultra perfect, as we named it earlier. Oh, and there's our first hit for Chance. Just low. And now, a chance for Julio to move on and get redemption against Strawn Riley. And he does! He makes no mistake! And Julio Romero will move on to the championship final to face Strawn Riley. People from all over the world, as you mentioned, from Canada, the U.S., from Australia, from Poland, Korea, all over the world, represented here today. Their friends, their families, the crowd is getting hyped up as we get prepared for the championship final between Strawn Riley and Julio Romero. Whoa! And Julio's rolling away, so this is it. Comes down to this potentially. A miss here, we keep going, but a stuck clutch, and for the second year in a row, Strawn Riley will be the National Axe Throwing Federation champion. Oh, is it? It's close. He says no, and we keep going. He doesn't even let the referee come in and have a look. He's blowing away. That screw hole is looking awfully big in the middle of that target. That's strong hits. Julio's wide! Oh my goodness! Strawn Riley! Back to back champion! Wow. That was entirely unexpected. I caught you off guard. I didn't know what you did, but Julio didn't much doesn't miss. He doesn't. He hasn't all day. But it doesn't matter now. Strawn Riley is the National Axe Throwing Champion for the second straight year.
Taking off with 10 G's, my man. Strawn Riley at number 1.
It's the people that make this what it is. I mean, the sport is awesome and fun and crazy and wild and exciting and stupid, but it's like that. It's the people. I mean, yes, winning is great and it matters, and everyone, congregates in Toronto once a year for this huge thing, and now in other cities to compete, but I think what makes us all want to do that is just the idea of all being together.
It's always a really great moment to get up there and speak to the community and show some love for all the people that won.
She wanted today to give me a hug. And she said, about yesterday, she said, you got about 1,000 people in here drinking for 12 hours while carrying axes around, and all they want to do is hug each other.
a soul to follow. Wanna dig a hole in the ground. Don't make it too shallow. Learn helter skelter every day.